How many Cellar? Oh, okay, it's Cellar live. We live right now, back in the building. Jesus Christ. It took me so long to get my sound on. I feel like Keith Robinson.
What? Keith can't get the sound out of his mouth.
Come on now, boss. Boss is here. Happy birthday, first of all. Happy birthday, Bossy.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
To you.
Also, I'm surprised you're not on the golf course, you son of a bitch.
I already played today. I played earlier. Bonnie made an unbelievable breakfast.
Okay.
And then an unbelievable dinner. And then after this, we're going to go do fireworks in our backyard.
So you're confirming that Bonnie is still with you?
But we don't see her.
No, we're in but we have separate bedrooms. But still, which is the best way to live, because when I'm done, doing what I got to do, I got to say, hey, listen, you're going to have to run. I'll call you. Leave me your number. I'll tell her I'll call her. But I never call her the next day.
Andy, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up? Oh, what?
Marriage.
Oh, Andy, can't hear you.
There we go. I can't hear you now.
He's muted. There.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
I'm getting engaged, or I'm getting married. So I'm
getting hitched, right?
Getting engaged.
You are engaged.
I am engaged.
Okay. You forgot already, motherfucker?
Yeah. I don't want to blow up my spot. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Well, your hair looks beautiful.
Thanks. I bleached it in a midlife crisis, so that's good.
It's either that or get a Corvette.
Don't have that kind of money. Like Rich said, I'm a permanent middle. You know.
I didn't say permanent.
You could go backward.
We're all. You know what's good about this whole pandemic is in the last 3 months, I sold as many tickets as Kevin Hart and Rock. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling as many tickets as all those comics now.
Finally, you're neck and neck with them.
And nobody's passing me.
Carmen.
Hola.
How's things?
I'm good. I'm still at my parents' house, but I'm leaving in a week to go back to New York. I'm excited. So yes. I'm going to have to say goodbye to Jesus because I've been sleeping with him for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You see him?
Wait, where are you?
Jesus. At my parents' house in Virginia.
Oh.
Stop punishing those poor people. They've been through enough.
Virginia.
I'm getting out of here.
How did
it's tough to be home. What?
Andy said that you were in California. You flew back. Obviously, you flew. You weren't scared to fly?
No.
I wasn't in California.
No, Andy was.
He said.
Me and Rosebud were. Yeah, it wasn't scary. I mean, the plane was empty. Like, it was chaos. A woman literally brought a flat screen TV wrapped in a towel on the plane. There's no rules, you know?
It's like the subway.
It's like a mega bus.
Yummy!
Were you guys allowed to sit next to each other?
We had to separate by one seat. But I imposed that rule.
Safety first. Yummy, what are you up to?
So much. I'm just getting my life back together. I have so much equipment in my house.
All the tapings?
All the tapings, everybody's sending me a tech kit. I don't need all this. I have no idea what it means. But somehow I'm doing things. I got a new router today and a modem from Spectrum. Apparently I didn't have the full quality modem that I needed. I don't know why. I've been paying for the. So I've been writing letters to people, complaints. I have a T-Mobile situation that's happening. I got very irate. I spent a lot of my time becoming Karen. I'm like the Black Karen.
Okay, I believe that. I can see
Karen.
that.
And why am I being put through so much? I literally said that to a man at T-Mobile today online. I said, why are you doing this to me?
You're a victim. You victimized yourself. Turn yourself into a victim.
Why me?
Were you in the brambles?
In there, like you got an OnlyFans page.
I got to get my OnlyFans. How many people doing OnlyFans on here? Anybody else trying to do OnlyFans?
I got about 3 under different names.
Is that like Cameo? What's OnlyFans?
Carmen, like you sound so old. You ain't down with the kid.
Like Patreon with boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Rose to start one to finance our wedding, you know?
Hey, Raina, I'm going to ask her about it. I'm going to ask my daughter.
I would love to know what she thinks OnlyFans is.
That kid's got 2 million hits on TikTok on one of her things. 2 million.
TikTok got the Chinese taking your information.
Is that
not 14?
Here's what I'm scared to deal with. You know, United Airlines. You know, I canceled all my flights when this happened. You know, I had all these gigs, so I got $2,000, and they go, "Well, you can rebook them and use them by October," which I'm not even going to fly by October. I just want my money back.
Yeah,
you know they're getting.
Boss, stop trying to say you had all these gigs. $2,000 is 2 gigs.
No, I'm looking at the flights right here. Well, no, we were supposed to go to you know, the Skankfest, and we were supposed to go to Atlanta. This, you know, the tour. All I know is $2,000 in flights or more. Just, you know, give me my money back. Don't hold me hostage, United, because they're getting bailed out. These airlines are getting bailed out.
Right.
So, and like Yamaneika is like, why are you doing this? I can't fight a company like that when they just go tough. This is it.
Wait, you have to fly by October or just buy it by October?
It doesn't matter, because I can't see myself flying till at least 2021.
So I guess it's hard. But
yeah, he's a man of a certain age.
Just buy something.
Yeah, Rich is compromised. He has to wait until we have a vaccine.
I'm healthier than all of you.
I'm not even going to argue that. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, you know, my booking agent called me today and said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah," because, you know, I got to keep the lights on. But I really hope that there's gigs that I can just drive to. But it's just a scary time, because it's like, even if I could drive to a gig, you know, say it's somewhere, I'm like, then the other end of it is I have to be worried about driving somewhere and being pulled over by a racist cop and murdered. So
there you go. You hit both topics in one thing.
Well, that's the reality, because we drive through some places where it's like bumblefuck, who knows what. And they, you know, America has now weaponized white people to be, you know, sergeants in arms, and you doing something as a black person that they don't like, then they gonna call the cops and detain you because you parked in instead of parking forward at Walmart. So, you know, these are the things that we have to worry about.
Are you trying to say that it's systematic racism in this country, Yamaneika? Shut your mouth.
What?
Is this all we're going to talk about?
Yeah.
No, we're also going to talk about. We're also going to talk about anti-Semitism. We're going to talk about that too. The Nazis.
Talk about Spanish people, so I have something to say. No.
Yes, what's going on?
You know what, Carmen? People always forget that you're Spanish, because
I know I'm super white.
And you know what's so funny, and not to bring it down, because I wish no one was here, and I hate to bring it down. We'll bring it back up. I just had a conversation with so many people are subscribing to being white now, and this whole idea that, oh, I'm white, I don't, you know, I'm not, and this and that. And I always try to remind people that if not for Black people, a lot of people who are saying that they're white would not be white, because the system was not everybody white when they came here, you know?
Yeah, it's America white, and white is two different whites.
Yeah.
If you go to Sweden, everybody in America look Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You can ask anybody. I never say, if people go, I would, like, if someone's trashing white people, I don't give a shit. I'd rather, if they're trashing Jews, and that's another story. Like
always groping around back to Israel. We get it.
You're right. Because I'm not your white waspy oppressor. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't grow up like that.
Right.
I didn't grow up like that at all. You grew up
being chased by those niggas too.
You know, so
the white waspy aggressors.
Yeah, I don't like when someone says white people this. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about white people.
Look at Andy.
Andy's the only white guy.
No, I think you got a fucking.
I saw Andy he's trying to double. He's like, where do I fit in? Where's my home?
No, I honestly, this is built for me. I fit in just fine.
Andy like used to be in a clock tower with a rifle.
It's my new TikTok account, rifle shooter, 69. No, but the funny thing is that when I grew up, we didn't have in Seattle. We don't have Jews like Rich. Like we didn't have like.
It sounds like a mecca.
Jews. They were just like doctors, lawyers, accountants.
They weren't failures like me.
No, they weren't watching Yo MTV Raps.
They weren't trying to sell me Dead Sea salt from a kiosk.
Wait, you grew up in Seattle?
Yeah.
What high school you go to?
Garfield.
Wait, you went to Garfield?
Uh-huh.
Shut up, Sherrod.
What?
Stop acting like you know.
Oh, you went to Garfield?
No, my high school is famous. Jimi Hendrix, Bruce Lee, Quincy Jones.
Yep. Thank you.
Macklemore.
Boo.
Bruce Lee.
And then also Doodlebug from the Diggable Planets. And Brandon Roy, Jason Terry. Good school.
Yeah, and Andy. Now you can add your name to the list.
No, don't do that. I boo him and Macklemore.
No, wait. I want to ask about the rain in Seattle. Is that true? Because I love rain.
300 days a year.
Wow.
Is it really that much?
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you ever get tired of it? Or because I just love rain so much.
It's the suicide capital of the United States, Yamaneika.
Remember that joke? Somebody had a joke. It's the suicide capital of the world because it rains every day. So the weatherman has a lot of pressure on him. So he comes on and say, let's just say it's not going to be sunny.
Remember yesterday? Well, it's going to be the same today.
No, I didn't know people were killing themselves over the rain.
I thought they were just depressed. I didn't know they were actually working on it.
It's seasonal affective disorder, right? So you don't get vitamin D.
Yeah.
And you lose your mind. I mean, it's
So
great.
do they have a lot of artificial lighting?
Some stupid people like this. I have Rosebud's ring light up right now, but some people have these things called light boxes, and they literally spend like 15 minutes in the morning just looking into a box with lights to feel what it would be like if you lived in a nice place.
Alaska has that too. Like when if you go up there when it's the 4 or 6 months of darkness, people got those lights that simulate the sun, so they won't go fucking nuts. And y'all nigga, don't sit there and act like if you don't get your vitamin D, you ain't.
No, but I'm obsessed with the rain. When I was a kid, I used to go outside on my roof, and I would when it would rain, I would just let the rain pour on me. I would. The rain.
Do you think that's because you didn't get it every day? Probably. Do you think you would still do that? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something about there was a thunderstorm yesterday and something earlier. Yesterday, did you guys see it? It was almost like a country rain. It was really heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy.
And
fast.
It was so beautiful. I just wanted it to last forever.
Did it remind you of Maryland?
A little bit, yeah. Like with the, because we don't have really trees and stuff here. There's a few trees that are trying to survive, but I feel like the Mother Nature, who's God, is reviving herself. Like the outside looks so much better, the trees look so much healthier and so much cleaner because we're not out there affecting the animals and the trees and we're inside with all our smoke and smog and bad attitudes and shit.
Yeah, like LA, the smog in LA is down right now because pollution's down because everybody's been in the house. So they say the first time you can see Catalina Island from LA in fucking a decade. Plus, when you go to India, it's the first time they can see the fucking mountains of what do you call it? Himalayas. First time they can see the Himalayas from New Delhi in 3 decades. Wow. Because people ain't out fucking putting all the smog in the world. So maybe this is Earth's plan. Maybe you think Earth is just saying, you know what? I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers off.
The rain in Seattle is it's never heavy. It's just constant light rain, drizzle for 300 days.
It's Chinese water torture.
Yep.
Well, I got a leak in my roof, so I hope it doesn't rain hard until I fix the leak. We have an acre of property out here, so I love when it rains because we planted all these trees and we got we got a garden, all this stuff, so I love when it rains out here.
How's your Trump neighborhood doing there, boss?
This is so un-Trump. Next to me on my right of my house, the guy's Palestinian, so we're already fighting over a little bit of land. That's my property. And I think the dude at the end of my block is kind of like an old Trump type of dude. I think. Yeah. I don't know, but the dude across the street from me is just a blue collar worker. Same with the guy next to me, and the other guy is Palestinian. I talked to 2 of my neighbors so far. But the one dude next to me, he's so out of touch with, he's an old dude. I go, you going to when they had a march in my town a couple of weeks ago, I go, you going to the march? He goes, for what? For what? Fucking for UNICEF, motherfucker. For what?
Oh, that's so sad and cute at the same time.
Because he's kind of, he's an older guy with his wife. Not old, he's probably, late.
He's done 60s. His marches already. He got
late 60s. You should still know. What?
Carmen, did you go marching? Did you go protesting or rioting?
I'm in Virginia. There's no, I haven't seen anything. I'm in the burbs. I'd have to go to DC.
Yeah.
I'm with my parents and I feel bad leaving because I don't want to get them sick,
I went to the march. I went to the march, but I went to sell CDs. I sold CDs at the march.
Get a merch table?
Yeah, I had a merch table at the march. And
I don't think ain't gonna know March either. She knows she ducking that virus. She ain't out there. She's social marching on social media.
I absolutely am. I mean, do you want to get into it? Because I feel like I was trying to deviate back to the rain. I'm not marching. I don't believe, while I applaud people who are marching, most certainly I think Black people need to not be the ones out there. We put our lives at risk all the damn time. And the way we affect change is not by turning the other cheek and asking someone to give us freedom who has people who have not been interested in giving us freedom.
Yeah, Andy. Sorry.
I marched 3 times.
What you trying to fucking cover up, nigga?
Oh, God.
Where did you march?
Look at me, guys. Look at me.
Of course he marched. Rosebud had them outside, I'm sure, moving somewhere with the dogs. See, a lot of white people been saying they marching, but really they just walking their motherfucking dog.
Walking their dog.
I ran to the march and then I marched for like 2 miles and then I cut out and went and bought groceries. It was like part of an errand.
Look at the dog behind Andy. He's like, we going to the march right now?
Yeah, get the dog. Oh, come on.
I actually went to the march.
Your dog.
I actually went to the march because Rosebud was gonna go, and I just couldn't trust her by herself there, so I had to.
That's right.
Oh no, Rosebud definitely gonna get arrested.
They're gonna lock her up. She got too much mouth on her. They're gonna lock her
Look
up.
how cute! Look at that little thing! Oh my goodness, so cute!
Come on!
That's Mouse.
Oh
Yeah.
What
She's
a
from Bakersfield. She's
She
a
looks like
slut.
you in a romantic comedy, motherfucker.
Something about Mary.
I love her. She's so cute.
Something about turn. Voss, so no marching in your neighborhood. Andy.
No. They didn't have a march. They had like a protest. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. On the busiest corner and intersection.
Yeah.
Like everybody stood with signs and this and that. And it wasn't a march. It was just, I guess, people from the town with signs and whatever.
Pro and con. It was good people on both sides, huh, Voss?
I don't know. I was in my lounge chair and I was just, getting some sun during it because it was a nice day out. So, but they weren't selling Zeppels anywhere. I looked everywhere.
Not a one.
Not one Zeppel.
Not a one.
My wife the night before was going, you going to the market? It's not like a carnival, she's acting like, but we brought our daughter just so our daughter could see what's going on. And just like when I voted, I voted for Hillary, right? But my wife said, bring your daughter in. I brought my daughter into the voting booth. So just in case she won, she would have seen history being made.
And plus, she have to help you figure out how to vote in that booth, motherfucker. Don't act like you know how to run
That's true.
Can you tell me which name is Hillary?
What's that?
Can you tell me which name is Hillary? Now, here's the thing. 4th of July is coming up.
Oh.
Yes. You mean white people's Juneteenth?
Did you guys do anything for Juneteenth?
Of course.
Look at Andy and draws a blank. Uh-oh.
No.
I worked.
You worked on Juneteenth?
Yep.
Where?
I washed Black people's feet in Bed-Stuy.
Oh, nice. Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you was working hard then, because them black toes is rough.
Don't phone it in. Get in there.
Through a pallet of what are those pads called? What are the pads
Brillo?
called?
The filing
Brillo
thing.
pads?
Callus.
Oh, what are those called? The
Sandblaster.
No, it's like a callus.
Emery board.
Emery board.
There you go.
Oh my
Emery
God, Rich
board.
has one. Why do you have one right at your disposal?
So at my desk, when I get bored, I can start filing my nails, going, let's pick up the pace. Not here, in general.
First of all, so my boy Trump was on TV. He said he want to file charges against anybody who's knocking over statues in America.
Good luck.
What's that? You know what I mean? You've been knocking them over?
First of all, you can't just knock over a statue. Those things are heavy. They weigh tons. You got to get the government involved with that so that they can move them. All these people that like that guy that was like, he beat the statue down. I was like, no, bruh, you were the last pound of like 1,000 pounds of knocking that thing down. Those things can't just come down.
I actually go ahead, Andy. I'm gonna get a joke in after you.
No.
Shut up.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say, but it is working because like they're taking down all the statues, and then also they took the Confederate flag out of the Mississippi flag.
Yeah.
And Trump,
I actually
can say whatever he wants, but he just lost the whole abortion thing with his own Supreme Court. Like the guy's a wash. He's not gonna do shit.
I was actually knocking over statues, but I got overzealous and knocked over a statue of Jackie Robinson. And then I had to pose in his place until my friends got there to help me pick it up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that was worth the wait, though. Good job.
That's his black.
That's it for me. But yeah, so what do you think? I mean, they look like they're going to file charges against that young woman who set that police car on fire in New York, that young white woman.
Chris D'Elia is trying to knock over the statute of limitations.
Nuts. To be a 15-year-old girl, I tell you.
Wow.
I gotta go. All the young girls is getting to play because I'm telling you, the older I get, the less DMs I get. I gotta tell people I'm 11 years old.
That's all it takes, huh?
I have to go on TikTok, Yamaneika.
I don't have my period yet. I'm 11. My daddy went to the school. He was coming back.
Hey, girl.
I don't know if the stories are real or not, but who wants to bang a little girl? Like, how small
was high school that bad that you have to bang a little girl?
I mean, I understand Arrested Development and motherfuckers sometimes get frozen in time just as a development. It just some people are just 12 years old forever. But
yeah.
What the fuck, man?
But men love younger women. Like, you know, it's so strange. The older I get as a woman, the more my last situation was a young person, like younger than me. And that was strange because as I get older, I want to be on the same mental wave with somebody.
How much younger?
We had a 10-year difference.
Oh, you scoundrel.
No, we did, and it get to the point where if we ever tried to like role play, like, oh, you're my babysitter, I'm like, nah, because I could have probably been your babysitter. You know what I mean? Like that's dicey. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I can't speak for men, but I can't speak for all women. I just know that some of my girlfriends who are like, oh, I like a young guy. After a while, the older you get as a woman, I just think that dealing with a person that's not on your same mental wave can become tedious.
Yeah, but it depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what you're looking for. Maybe if you're just looking to get banged as an older woman, you ain't looking for, you don't give about no social sphere. You like, let's get in the bed, bang and beat it. But
yeah, that's different.
A man who can be around you, maybe a young
my album, Bang and Beat It.
Bang and beat it.
A lot of my friends who are married with children who get divorced, they love a younger guy. You know? Because they don't want to settle down, and the guys are too young to like want to, you know.
Yep.
But see, that's where I'm trying to settle down. Like, I haven't had kids. I want to like, you know, I'm like, you know, it's so funny because I interviewed David Allen Greer like a couple weeks ago. He's a phenomenal guy, just such an awesome dude, so down to earth. And I was like, and he's probably like at least 20, 25 years older than me. And I was like, you know what? I could can be with a guy that David Allen Greer's age. You know, I need to slow down. I mean, not that I think he's slowed down, but I'm just like, these young guys, it's too, you know, no. I need to go golfing too. What'd you say?
I said he's also on network TV, so that could be.
Yeah, that helps. You know who else is his age? Your mailman. You never looked at him twice. You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well,
I can see myself with an Emmy winner.
It was deeper than that. Carmen knows. Carmen understands.
I get it, girl. Hey, I have daddy issues, so I always date older. So I get it.
You know, your daddy's in the same
I've always liked older. I like a guy who can teach me stuff. I don't want to have to teach anything to a younger guy.
Right.
No, you know, that's annoying.
Well, look at as a comic too. If you're with a comic, you got to be with somebody who's funny. You can't be a comic and be with another comic who stinks. You know what I mean? Oh, no, because no. Who? Why? Somebody that stink?
Yeah, my last boyfriend was a comic.
Yeah, but I don't know. I never seen the set, so I don't know how good he was.
Why you're not with him anymore?
Wait, did you think he stink? That's what you're really reacting to.
No, I'm not. Listen, get off me. Go back to Andy in the rain.
You were the one who interrupted Boss. He was off you. He was talking. And he was like,
I'm just saying, you know, like I couldn't see myself with a, you know, like a dentist or, you know, my ex-wife is cool and everything, but, you know, Bonnie makes me laugh. She's going to make me laugh, you know, and she gets, you know, she knows, like, she can spot a fraud in this business or in life too, or in life. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, and we're basically on the same wavelength when it comes to comedy and taste and stuff like that. I mean, she's a little more alternative and, you know, a little more, you know, Tig type of shit, but you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm more of a JB Smooth, but you see what I'm saying? A Cat Williams, but
you're more of a Rob Reiner. Your days are numbered.
More of a Carl Reiner.
Yeah. He died today, right?
Rob died.
Carl, the father.
Carl died. And Carl was 93 years old. I don't have no qualms in
98.
98.
Even more. Then that means another joke needs to come out about his ass right now.
I shared a picture with him with a Black Lives Matter shirt on. That motherfucker was still doing it at 98.
Wow.
No, he didn't know he had a Black Lives Matter day. He thought it was Bladder Lives Matter.
He had it on inside out, but I still sad on.
I thought it was a Black Eyed Peas shirt.
Yeah. And like, Carmen, your boyfriend's not a comic, right?
Well, he's a comedy writer. Bonnie knows
Oh, yeah,
him.
yeah.
They worked together on the Spirit Awards.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
He's been on like late nights.
The Spirit Award, isn't that the Black Gospel Award show? You guys,
that's like it's the Oscars for alternative movies.
No, there's a Black Spirit Awards for Black.
They
stole our shit.
Oh,
Spirit,
the Independent Spirit Awards, right?
Independent Spirit Awards.
Oh, you better make sure you say independent.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Spirit Awards, we got the Image Awards, and we got the best barbecue sauce in America.
Bonnie and Carmen's boyfriend wrote for the Gospel Awards.
They write for BET.
That's why I was like, wait a minute, what? I gotta stop watching them awards.
Yes, they did a whole feature article in Jet magazine on Bonnie.
They should.
Is that still out, Jet? Remember Jet?
Yeah, because I wanted to be Jet Beauty of the Week. And my grandfather used to tell me I couldn't be Jet Beauty of the Week because I was husky.
You on 2 pages?
He said, you eat too many biscuits. You ain't gonna be Jet Beauty of the Week. They ain't gonna have no husky bitch up there.
Who's husky anymore?
Okay.
Biscuit.
One day they said husky and everything else. They called you a heifer. They called you husky.
Yeah,
I remember my mom got me husky-sized clothes, and she tried to spin it like it was like a cool snow dog type of thing. She couldn't break it to me that I was just a fat kid.
Were you really fat?
White Fang, yeah.
Like what kind of fat we talking? Alone in your room with a guitar fat?
No, just like, stealing bulk candy, just wearing my shirt in the pool, that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was a shirt in the pooler.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was fat with a P. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
Oh, Andy, how did you lose all the weight?
Yeah,
how'd you lose all the weight, Andy?
I grew 9 inches one summer.
There you go. Because you was smush. That's why you looked so fat. You was dense, like a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this much, Andy, if you was fucking with black girls, you wouldn't have had to lose that weight. But now you got to lose weight because, that thin white guy.
I went to all black middle and high school, and I tried to fuck with the black girls, and I gotta say they were right not to fuck with me because they had black men to fuck with, and
it was like, please, Parker, I
guarantee you, Andy, it probably was your game because they would fuck you, they would fuck with you.
No, but it was definitely my game. It was like I wrote this girl Nyoka Jeffrey. I wrote her a note that was like, "Will you go out with me?" Yeah, Nyoka Jeffrey. I asked her if she'd go out with me with a yes or no, and then her boyfriend picked her up from school in a car. It was like
that was a solid no. Huh?
Nyoka.
Wait, this is in Seattle now, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you at least call the cops on that boyfriend and get him arrested?
Yeah.
You right. Did you forget that?
Rest in power, brother.
He died? No. Oh.
Yeah.
No, but he did get arrested because she was underage.
And the car was stolen?
Yeah.
Wow, she was underage. Wow. But Nyoka sound like she was hot. That sound like a name. Like, you go, Nyoka.
She's actually... I don't think anybody's heard of them, but there's this rap group called Shabazz Palaces. And
yes, they sell bean pies.
She's married to
Shut up, Rich.
She's married to one of the guys from it.
Really?
High school? Was this your high school, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was the black school. And how big was the school, first of all?
4,000.
4,000. That's a big school.
It was like a magnet school,
Okay, so a whole bunch of neighborhoods coming there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got bussed in? You drove, Whitey.
I got bussed in until my parents got me a car.
Exactly. You know who took the bus all 4 years? The black kids.
No, because it was in the hood. They walked to school.
and let's stop the stereotype. I drove. I had a car.
I had a car too, baby. I had a car in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know. Let's stop that. That stops here.
I'm not saying your high school. I was talking about his school. Yeah. Everything ain't your experience, Yamaneika.
I had a car because I was 24.
Rich was dating Nyoka.
I remember I didn't have enough credits to get to graduate, so I had to go back. And I went back. Everybody in my year graduated, and I didn't have enough credit.
Where was this? Where were you?
Plainfield High School. Plainfield. You want to talk about you?
Yeah.
You want to talk about whatever. So I went back the first day, and I was in my friend's car in the parking lot. I go, get me the fuck out of here! I can't do this. And I just went home. Then I started my own business like a year or 2 years later. But
what, you dropped out?
I quit high school. I didn't have enough credits. I never had enough credits to graduate.
Yeah, so did you get a GED?
I forgot.
Is that Bonnie laughing? Who's that laughing? Oh. Bud or that Bonnie? And everybody should laugh. That's what it means to be white in America. Okay,
what?
Even though you're not whitish in America. Oh, oops, I forgot. You got a degree? No. Oops, I didn't remember. Oops.
Yeah, but that's wrong, Yam, because I always did my own business, did my own thing. No one hired me. I hustled throughout life. Painting.
You got to give it to Rich. He was a crackhead for a long time.
Yeah, thank you. So no one gave me
the Samuel L. Jackson of comedy.
You know what? They right. I'm sorry, Rich. This will be the only time I'll ever apologize to Rich.
You
come from a long way, Rich. I'm gonna give you your credit because you're right. You have come from a long way. You was a crackhead. You was a black apple. You turned to a Chinese lady.
He was the first white comic on Apollo.
Def Jam.
White man on
Apollo. I'm Def Jam.
Def Jam.
Yeah. And who gave you a hat that says Yam on it? Okay.
Oh my God, I wear it all the time. On my podcast, all that. Thank you so much, babe. I appreciate you.
When you
Wait,
did
what
that Def
about
Jam,
us? We didn't get a hat.
Because your name is in Yam. So,
you
It's
remember when you
Carm.
did that Def Jam, boss?
what?
You remember
was
when
that?
you did that Def Jam? What it was like?
It was just, I'll tell you if you want, it's the scariest moment in
I want to hear
showbiz.
about it. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll do this real quick. They're taping all week in New York. So
Right.
they're taping 5 nights. The year I did it where they had all the different guest hosts, Steve Harvey, Chris Rock, Chappelle, Jamie Foxx. That year they had, so they're taping all week, and all week you're hearing who did well, who bombed, who killed, right? So I went to one taping, and this dude, and I do a bit on stage about it, but this dude walks out. You know, first they say, look, there's no booing. This ain't the Apollo. This is Def Jam. Guy Torrey did the warm-ups. We don't boo here. So this dude walks out in an all gold suit. He looked hard. Already they hated him. He first walks out and he goes, first of all, I want to say I'm not from New York. I'm from Canada. Now, when a black audience can't boo you, all you heard was, that's all you heard was, child, right? So, right? And it was so funny. So, all week long, I hear who's killing and bombing.
Right.
Well, I'm on the last night.
And who's hosting that night?
My show was Steve Harvey.
Okay.
So I'm on the last night, the last show. So any comic and celebrity host that was still in town was coming to the tapings, hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm on the last show, second to last. Now I'm the first fucking white dude. So I got white comics going, you got to do well. Then I got black comics that are mad going, why is this white dude doing it and I'm not doing it? But I was already doing it. Yeah, but I was already doing the peppermint in all the rooms with Bob and Tina. So I get there with my clothes. I had I think a Fila sweatshirt. And they said, Russell wants you to wear his clothes, Fat Farm and whatever. So I walked out and I killed right from it was the scariest moment of my life, believe me. I was killing, but I look back on it and I killed. But I look back on it and I go, I would never do what I did then because I was pandering. I was more pandering. You know, I'm doing all this
like
shit,
trying to survive more than trying to go at them.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the environment where, you know, if I'm around dudes that I grew up with, you're talking more like street, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but now, if I did it now, looking back, I just would walk out, sit on a stool and talk.
Right.
But I'm out walking out with Fat Farm shirt, baggy pants, yo, checking me out, you know, all that shit. But that was almost 20 years ago too. So everybody grows as a comic.
But they also ask you to wear the stuff. I mean, what are you going to do when somebody asks you to wear their clothes?
Well, it's Russell's show, and Russell, they said, they go, Russell wants you to wear Fat Farm. I'm not going to say no because then I'm not doing the show. You know, it's just, you know, it's just like, it's his show. So yes. But
is this on YouTube or anything? Did you ever post it?
Oh,
online?
It's all over. It's everywhere. You can find it on anything, Voss, on Def Jam. But it was probably the scariest thing I've ever, you know, that and when we roasted Trump, that was the second scariest thing I ever did because
Trump roast Comedy Central, was it?
No, it was a Friars roast. It's when they split up Comedy Central, but there was 2,000 people in the Hilton. Anybody in New York that meant anything.
Right.
Opie and Anthony are there. Bonnie, I'm dating Bonnie. Norton, my father, his wife, everybody. The first 2 acts went on. They killed like I've never seen anybody kill in a roast. I go, I got to see.
Do you remember who it was?
Yeah, it was this guy, Stewie Stone, and then Susie Essman.
Yeah.
Fucking slaughtered. I go, I got to walk off this dais. I'm going to end my career here. I'm going to end in front of everybody, any Asian club, you name it. And then Belzer went on and fucking bombed. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
So I walk out. Regis Philbin is the host.
Okay.
It's 3 weeks after Rodney Dangerfield died. 3 weeks after it. So I walk out and I go, originally Regis wasn't supposed to be the host. They asked Rodney and he said he'd rather be dead. Silence.
Holy shit.
silent. I'm going, oh fuck. And I said, don't fuck with me. I'll bring Belzer back. And then so those were the two scariest moments ever in my whole in comedy.
That could be a hell gig too, because fucking just a roast in a Hilton. That's not built for laughter.
No, it's not a club.
No,
right.
No, and there's like 2,000 people.
In a high ceiling.
Yeah, I was sitting next to Isaac Hayes. That was pretty cool.
Isaac Hayes was there. He was still alive.
There was like 20 people, 25 people on the dais, but they weren't all roasting, you know. But I was sitting next to Isaac Hayes, so he said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." Shut the fuck up! You're not going up there.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I think we have a. I think.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
That nigga is just like Eminem's dad.
Oh Jesus! Damn, I look young then.
I think the point that we can make, I'm glad we put that clip back up, is, and I'd be very interested to have the conversation with Voss and the rest of the comics who are non-Black. I think there's a lot of pandering that happens, and because what separates really is the industry by having this sort of idea of urban and having this idea of mainstream, and urban being Black and mainstream being white. Because the more I've been on the road and the more I've gone to sort of southern states, and you realize that there's this sort of, as much as they think a Black audience is ignorant, we never speak about the white audiences that are also ignorant and don't understand anything. The trailer, the hillbilly, that can't get it. It's not that every white audience is this cosmopolitan, sort of together, smart, forward thing. So
most audiences are rednecks. Like I would say, like 75% of if you're doing the country, you're performing for fucking white trash, rednecks, hillbillies, or suburban,
or just ignorant, ignorant people.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go out to Long Island and it gets bad.
You performing for the disenfranchised, and that can be anybody, any color.
Yeah, you just want to mix
grab onto that and just recognize your your similarities instead of
Sure, but I just think it's so interesting how it's always, because I've been in some Black audiences where comics have underestimated how smart that audience is or what they're used to, and they start talking, street lingo, and people are like, oh, I don't know what's going on. There's a respectability they want from their audience. So
Black audiences see a fraud coming real fast.
Yes.
I mean, but the different audience is very specific anyway. It's not even just, it's not nuclear of Black people. It is so much, you had to be in hip hop to understand. You had to be in the know. You had to be in the fresh gear. You had to be on so I never was into Def Jam. Not like that, not as a negative, but I just never, because I grew up, in an upper middle class family. We didn't watch secular television, certain things like that. I would have never been able to be.
Grew up in a church house. They ain't let you. They look at all that devil stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Your grandmother was playing it in that house.
We're talking 20 years ago too. Comedy evolves. Yeah. Audience evolves. Clubs evolve. Back then, Black comics, a lot of them were doing. Bernie Mac wasn't doing comedy clubs. He was doing underground, Chitlin type rooms. Yeah, so it wasn't for, and Def Jam put Black comics pretty much out there. Then it started to evolve, and then you get to clubs like the Funny Bones, the Improvs, where it's mixed. And now there's white comics and Black comics working together. And I would call clubs after Def Jam and say to someone, I did Def Jam, and they would go to me, we don't use Def Jam acts. Hey, listen, and they would say that to me. I'm not a Def Jam act. I'm an act. I just did that. But it evolved. And plus, we're all New York comics, which is a big difference than if you grow up in the Midwest, wherever. It's very mixed. It's diverse comics. We hang out together. It's different than 20 years ago. It's a lot different. It's like,
So plus, a lot of the clubs that you go to in the city, even back in the day, you still have a lot of mixed audiences there. So some of the stuff you do in the suburbs, you might have this area that's it's 99% white in the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a lot of times in New York, sometimes it is that, but most times it wasn't.
But also too, back then they would say, and it was, it would draw, like if they go, tonight is Urban Night or Fat Tuesday, whatever. You know what I mean?
Office Sundays.
Yeah, yeah. And they did that in LA,
Yeah.
all that shit. So it was kind of not only the promoters who, if you had white or black, were promoting to a certain audience. And just like good comedy, you get Russell Peters, he's promoting himself to a certain audience. That's why he's selling out stadiums.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, the only clubs that don't do like a chocolate anything is like the clubs in Manhattan. And that's for the whole country.
Yeah, but no, the Carolines used to do Tuesday night. Tuesday was Tina's show, and it was, Mike Epps. I remember Mike Epps almost getting in a fight with Charles Oakley, in the audience. And every comic, it was just different and evolved.
You almost saw Mike Epps get killed by Charles
Oakley. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what would have happened. You're right.
Yeah, I remember Caroline. Remember the Sunday, the Black Night Sundays at Boston Comedy Club that Talent used to do?
Oh,
yeah,
I remember that.
Here.
That's Talent's show.
And then
Talent. Yeah.
And Will, give Will his props, Will Sylvans.
Yeah. But they would put the newbie comics on. In the beginning, you'd have those 3 little spots, and we'd be begging to get those spots, and nobody paying attention to you in that spot.
Oh, it was tough, man.
I love doing those spots, though. Talent would even mispronounce your name. He ain't give a fuck. I just grabbed the mic from him and went in.
Yeah.
I know you don't want me here, nigga, but make you regret it.
When I sit at the Cellar and we talked to Mike Yard. Mike Yard, we did all those gigs together back in those. And I mean, there was Manhattan proper in Queens. It was, some of these gigs were so scary because you're going, just let me do 10 funny fucking minutes and get the fuck out. Because you had 20 seconds to be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What happened if you weren't funny? Would they just boo you?
You couldn't even, like, it'd be so loud, you couldn't even hear yourself with a microphone.
Mike, try to pick your spirit up off the ground.
Mike was, I mean, a famous comic was working. There was nothing scarier than the Peppermint Lounge.
Oh, Peppermint.
500 people. Shannon Briggs was there. Naughty by Nature, Queen Latifah. Everybody in there. And dude sitting in the front row. So there was a comic who's a big headliner now. He went on stage and he was fucking bombing. This dude walked to the front of the stage, had a thing of chicken bones, and just started just fucking him at him like that.
That low down?
No.
Yeah, that was it was brutal, man. That was a whole different ball game.
People would leave there and get job applications. That place ruined careers.
I remember one time randomly, me and Tony Rock, we went to Manhattan Center for like a hip hop show. It was like Wu-Tang. This is easily like 2003 or some shit, like a while ago. And we go in there, it's packed. I mean, it's like Manhattan said, so it's packed. It's just a stage, it's standing room only, packed. It's got to be 1,000 people in there. 1,000 in like hip hop high school. We standing there, they say, okay, first, this was right when we just got into comedy maybe like a couple years. They said, first, we got a comedian coming out. And we was like, what? First of all, how is anybody going to get jokes into this rowdy? But they got a DJ out there, everybody jumping, and then they stop the DJ to put on a comedian, which is always a disaster.
Yeah.
And didn't you stop the noise?
The comedian comes out, and guess who it is? Dustin Chafin.
No!
Oh my God.
Yes, in the middle of 1,000
no!
Hip hop. They turned the music down. They brought Dustin out. Me and Tom was like, okay, this, and we knew him because we just got into comedy and we did a couple shows with him. We was like, this is not going to be good. The motherfucker stood his ground. He did his jokes. He wasn't loving it, but he stuck in there, money. He stuck it. He kept banging them, and he did his drugs. And they started warming up, and he didn't get everybody, but he got enough that we saw him off stage and was like, yo, that was the greatest shit I ever saw in my life. He was like shaking and sweating. I was like, no, man, feel good about yourself. Because you could have got murdered in there. And you had motherfuckers rushing like this. Yeah, man, good for you.
I got to tell you this story, it's so funny. There was a club in Yonkers called Shooting Stars. Yeah. This was all gangsters. And I mean, this was Italians. So Daryl Hammond walks out. and they're yelling, "You stink! You're the what?" They're just and he just got out. They're fucking heckling him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he says to them, he goes, "Listen, if you guys be quiet and just listen, you might find this funny." Some guy in the back gets up and yells, "He's wounded. Let's get him."
Oh boy.
Oh, the scariest room, shooting star. Ask anybody that did this fucking room up in Yonkers.
It's great when you take a fucking L on stage. You don't want it always to happen. But
No.
boy, it's a good story.
Oh,
Carmen, you got one. Come on, Carmen. What you got? Somebody throw something at you?
No, but Atlantic City was a really bad. I had a bad time at the Tropicana like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember that room in
Yes.
Atlantic City?
Yeah.
Who was that
Bob
old man that ran it?
Bob Kephart.
Yes.
That
Wow.
criminal.
And I was so nervous because I don't know, I was just new at like doing the road. And he goes, "You're gonna bomb." He came right up to me and he's like, "You're gonna bomb. These people are gonna hate you. It's Atlantic City." And I was like, "I'll be fine." And he said that for like a good 20 minutes. And I went up there and I was so nervous and I completely ate it.
Oh.
And he fired me the next day. And then I talked to comics and they're like, "We got fired too. It's a compliment. Like those people are just idiots."
Yeah, they're idiots.
Like,
But
my agent didn't even care.
Like,
What?
why would he keep saying it to you instead of trying to encourage you to?
Because he wanted to fuck with me. He was at the bar. He was drinking.
He's a
I
drunk.
probably
He was a
looked
drunk.
nervous. Yeah. And he was like, "You're going to bomb. Oh my God." And I was like, "No."
That fucking drunk. I was working there, and on Tuesday night they give you $200 advance.
Right.
So I get there. I was supposed to middle, and I get there on Monday, and I'm hosting. I go, "Fuck, I'm supposed to middle," and I'm arguing, and so Tuesday night, I go, "Can I have my advance?" And the dude put $200 in my hand. I go, "Tell Bob I quit," and I got my shit and I left.
Good.
I took the 200 and I quit.
Good.
Yeah, fuck him, that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, you got one?
Well, I've told mine is famous.
I don't know it.
Well, how I
Tell
got
us.
I got booed on Shut Me Apollo, but I won't tell that one. You guys can go watch it. I explained it to the Breakfast Club.
Tell another one. There's more than one, I'm sure.
But I don't know if you guys know this comic, Rip Michaels. He's on Wildin' Out. Very funny guy. Rip Michaels. He used to be, I think he's mostly in he tours a lot. He's mostly in maybe LA now, but very funny guy. And this is probably like maybe 15 years ago. And he was showing me around. Somebody had challenged me. They said, "Oh, you can't do urban rooms because you do it mainstream and da da da." And I was like, "I've done urban. I can do anything I fucking want to do." Yeah. And
last words.
No, I had been doing. They challenged me and another comic, Michael Worthington, who's living in Texas now. But they were just like, "Oh, you guys are corny, because you do mainstream." I was like, "You don't know anything about us. I can do a urban room." Right. So we go to this place. Rip and I have a show, and I remember we took the little bus that's at Penn Station. The buses that go into Jersey, the little white buses that you can
Yeah, I know those well.
Yeah, and it was my first time, so I was like nervous. And they just drop you off any fucking where. They don't care nothing about your safety. If you're at your destination, they just drop you off. So we went to this place. The first place, it was great. I had a great set. It was a hood room, whole thing. And then so I just had one show. He had like 6 shows that night. He was like, he was telling me how easy it is to make a lot of money on the urban scene because they paying you like
they pay more. They pay
more right on the mainstream. You got to work and get some celebrity to you, and then you become get cachet. Yeah. Urban rooms, you get $150 a spot, $200 a spot, whatever. Yeah. So he's like, "I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna get money." So we went around, and he came back with at least maybe 2 or 3 G's, at least, right? Yeah. So we went to this place in like Jersey City. It was the last spot we were going to, and it was, I don't remember the name of the place, but maybe if I describe it, maybe Voss has been there, or Sherrod, you've been there. It looked like Harlem Nights because it had like this gold. it had a red carpet, and it had this gold, like the you know, like the little stand things with the
stanchions type of thing.
You know, with the chains,
the ropes.
Yes.
The
Oh
ropes,
yeah.
you know, and so I'm like, wow. And there was a step and repeat, and they were like, they had been open for like a month, but they still were doing step and repeats. There was somebody with the newspaper there taking it. So I was like, oh, this is classy. Like, oh, okay, I see my people out here doing it. And one thing led to another, and I was asked if I wanted to do some time, and I was like, sure. Like, I'm like, am I dressed well enough? Like, oh my goodness. So I walk into the place. The clientele there did not match the step repeat and the stand. It was a bitch in there that had her hair in curlers in the front row. What? And I remember going up there and I was like, why is your hair in curlers? She's like, cause I'm here for the after party. Like people, it was one of those things where it was just the comedy show was happening and they was all there to dance and have an after party.
Always disaster.
Take her hair. The bitch literally told me she wasn't taking her hair down until the party started.
Until she heard Viggy. She like, all right.
Right, okay, girl. Girl, this is it, girl. Like, so I'm literally performing for a bitch that thinks she's still in her boudoir at home waiting to be picked up.
Disrespect.
I can't even get a good look from you, bitch. I remember it was like correct. And I was fighting with these niggas, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I said, I know what you niggas want to hear. Huh? You want some Kool-Aid shit, right? You want some chicken shit? Like, I lost my fucking mind. I turned into like some racist white comic that was like, I was so angry at them that I could not get my shit off because they just was not, and it wasn't now later, right? You realize it wasn't to their discredit. It was to the person that put this thing together and the environment that was created. You cannot have people come somewhere and like, I always think comics who open up for music acts, how tough that is when they don't want to fucking hear you. They want to hear Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey. And now you got to fucking do 20 minutes in front of Earth, Wind and Fire. Like, that's gotta be the most, like, why can't we just have people come and see fucking comedy and not be like, comedy's in the way of something else that I want to do.
Comedy wasn't putting asses in seats, motherfucker. I remember Chris Rock used to open up for Albie Shore. It was a great time in our lives. They used to bring whores to the house.
Yeah, but then you gotta do your act before a bunch of bitches is trying to throw their panties on the stage. I want to get off on my own girl. You know?
And
like,
that's a great show. Because you're sitting right next to Albie like this. Remember me? I went up first. Remember me? Yeah, you wasn't paying attention. Remember me?
Me and Chris used to do one-nighters in Jersey together. Just one-nighters.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when he first, they all did. Everybody was doing one-nighters. Ray Romano, Chris, all the just these one-night gigs to make fucking quick cash.
Yeah.
And do and I look back, man, I was so bad at comedy when I first started. And you look back, you go, did I really do that shit? And that was probably looking back a month ago.
Did you think you were bad, boss? Or did you think you were bad at the time? Did you think?
No, I always said, like dudes at one guy club, he canceled. He goes, you can't headline. I'm canceled. I go, let me tell you something. When your club is closed because you're sticking your face in a mirror every night, I'll still be doing comedy. And I used to always have.
That man was Al Martin. I'm sorry.
No, it was just some club. But I used to always know that I'm in this for the long run. These motherfuckers come and go.
Yeah.
And I look at, and it sounds bitter, and it may be, but I look at agents, club owners, managers, all of them. I could do what they do. They can't do what I do. They can't do it. You know, if I had the money, I could open a club. I could open a club right now. You know what I'm saying?
You could open a club. And Book, you definitely owe me some spots. I'm going to put my bills in with you right now.
Listen, I might do it in my backyard. Rich Foss's backyard comedy club. It's big enough.
I'll be there.
Listen, don't get me wrong. There's great club owners, there's great managers, great agents, but you know what I mean. I don't give a. You know what? I'm a comic, and I'll always work. That's how you got to look at it. I'll always fucking work. I don't give a fuck. You know.
I agree.
So
I have to say this: we can't keep moving forward without Andy and Sherrod telling their episodes because
Yeah, come
I
on.
got a nice bomb. This was at the comic strip, and it was like a late night, like Friday show. So it might have been 30 people in the audience, 35. It was like the late show. This is like maybe 2-3 years in. And I was getting booed. It was a whole Puerto Rican family. Like at that first table, you know, the long table by the stage, they had it. They were just, that's fucking 116th Street, nigga. East 116th Street. And they did not like me, hated me. And they just started going boo and boo, boo. They had an old grandmother with them. They picked this bitch up, let her stand up so she could boo. She's like, la boo, la boo. It was glorious. La boo.
My bomb was I was like, it was like 2010 or 11, and I was in Seattle for some reason, and somebody had canceled this big music festival. Garfunkel and Oates had canceled their spot, and I just happened to be with my friend.
That's half of 2 other bands, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like the Ukulele Girls. But so they were like, Andy, do you want to fill in? And I was like, yeah, definitely. So I go to the gig, and it's in the day in like one
Outside.
of those big tents, like those giant tents. And I walk up, and there's 3,000 people in the audience, and they're all like sitting down and kind of like it's a music festival. And
Is this Bumbershoot?
it's Sasquatch.
Oh, okay.
Which is like out at the Gorge, which is like Central Washington. But anyways,
I mean, old words are just threw at each other.
I know. I was like, "What's this?" I ain't never felt so black in my life until
Jesus.
It was great. I got backstage. I met Erykah Badu. It was awesome.
yeah, is she
was
gorgeous? I bet she's gorgeous in skin.
Yeah, but
Got a good dumper. Nice
it was
dump.
like it was like meeting a queen or something. She was very unique. She had a very strong aura.
It's right after I broke up with her. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What up, boss?
About Rich. She was.
That's right. It's Voss 3000.
Have you talked to Rich? No, but so I'm like 5 or 10 minutes into my set, and nobody's reacting. And I go, you got like, I say this on the mic. I go, you guys, you heard that Garfunkel and Oates canceled, right? And immediately 2,000 people stood up and walked away.
What?
Oh
2/3 of the room.
Yeah, they did not. I think most of them were just in there because it was shady anyways. But
Wow.
yeah, it's really bad.
That's hard.
But still 1,000 people stayed. Did they enjoy it?
No, I was.
Thank you, Patty Positive. Wow.
The glass half full. What a fucking nurturing thing to say.
Oh, fucking Boston Comedy Club got rough at nights.
Oh, they had some rough. Yeah.
I had 3 Puerto Rican girls stand up, and they just walked out through drinks on me, right? And then the whole audience, as they were walking out, started throwing drinks on them, like from the upper level and lower level. And I'm going, I'm not coming back to this club for a couple months because they could have been girlfriends to like Latin King, you know what I mean? They were. I'm going, this club is crazy. It got crazy in that club at the end.
But it was fun though. God damn it,
was, yes.
Comedy Club. That was a fun spot, man. That was a good hang.
Oh, we used to have the roasts there. All the roasts we used to do there. Oh, Keith Robinson. When we were doing the Patrice roast, you want to talk about a bomb? Go on YouTube and watch.
Oh, that's a classic bomb. That was a classic.
I want to see it.
I think it is. He came in and thought he was going to ad-lib a roast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. No, that's the worst.
First of all, DC, Ben Bailey went on, and he had like 15 years of just anger and resentment towards all of us. Yeah. And Ben Bailey killed it. And then Keith comes running in next. and try to add Esty. I think.
First of all, player. Shut up.
Were you there? Were you there, Sherrod?
Yes, of course I was there.
I think Esty came up and walked him off stage.
Oh my God.
It wasn't even her club.
Robinson, Patrice O'Neal Rose. That's the first thing that came up when I typed in Keith Robinson.
I can't wait to see.
Listen, oh my God, Keith Robinson bombs at the Patrice O'Neal Rose.
Okay, it might just be audio, but that's enough.
Oh, it's lovely. You can hear us yelling at him.
Oh, it's great. Let me tell you something.
Poor Keith. Keith's funny though. He's funny though. But
he's funny as fuck.
Yeah, you can't ad lib a roast. That's why we tell people when people are like, yo, I got this. I said, no. Roast is very specific. You got to have everything together because all these trains of thoughts have to come together with insults so that they land in a way that people understand and it hits the soul. You can't just be snapping on people.
Yeah, they snap. Snapping and roast are two different things.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to come in with fucking pinpoint hurt with words packed on each other, timed out, perfect time, room temperature, goddammit.
I did that Comedy Central roast battle show, and there was a comic from Atlanta that tried to come up and just freestyle it for the TV show. And he just tried to snap on it. And he went up against this dude who, I mean, he's like a Christian kid from Texas, this little white kid named Jay Light. And Jay Light's like a great joke writer, and he demolished this dude. And this dude's like a big name. Yeah. And that guy just...
you talking about Carlos Miller?
Yes.
So he's going to go in and wing it through with Jay White?
Jay Light.
What it was is that Carlos did not... I think a lot of things happen. And I think, again... And I tell Black comics this as well when they get into the roasting. It is very different. There's a certain set of rules and boundaries that snapping has that is not in roast. Nobody's family is off limits. They may talk about your grandmother in a roast. They're going to say some of the most lowbrow things.
Well, roasts are different now than what roasts are originally. First, roast used to be roasted by your peers before.
Yes. Roast battles.
The prize roast was roasting by your peers. Now roasting is trying to just get on the dais and get a come up on somebody you don't know.
Well, no, the roast battle is not. Roast battle is not a roast. Roast battle
is a different thing too. Yeah.
Than roasting.
But even Comedy Central roast, it's not like the roast, not like the Prize Club roast.
I've done them all. I've done them all. I've done the roast. One of the first roasts I was ever able to do was I got to roast Dennis Rodman at the Friars Club, and he kissed me on the lips.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, nice. Look at her, so excited.
And you think he has the softest lips. He's such a nice guy. He's almost like a child in a way. Like there's a lot of innocence in him. I think his team takes advantage of him. That's just my personal opinion. And they allow him to do a lot of shit that puts him in crazy lights. But I don't think he's
crazy. His team ain't do nothing but kept him alive.
Well, I mean, kept him alive in craziness. But that's neither here nor there. I did the roast there, and I was able to roast a couple other people at the Friars Club. So I understand. Yeah. You know, roasting,
Friars Club roast,
Friars roasting, and the art of roasting is real. I think what happens over time, because I've also done roast battle. I've been very successful at it. I judge roast battles. Over time, the sensational
roast battles will talk about your dead sister and shit like that. That's not roast.
No, it doesn't have to be. Like one of the things that I think when it comes to roasting that I oftentimes don't respect is when people start going on this on a trope with someone with these obvious things that don't, like, it keeps hitting the note. Like when guys roast girls and then it's like, oh, she's every whore out there. She's this, some type of a bitch. She's that. She's had sex with all these different men, or, you know, when
that's the jokes I tell on dudes in the roast battle. He had sex with so many different men.
Someone who was heavy set and it's, you know.
Yeah, Rosebud is right here. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
It's a great roaster as well. I think when I tell you that the idea of snapping and what we used to do as Black people when we snapped was on some quick fun shit. Like, you know, we all friends, but we got somebody in our group that's the friend that's gonna get it because we can give them this and give them that.
And snapping is all you. And roasting, you can have a ghostwriter, so you don't know what's who's who.
Yeah. But there's limits. Like, you ain't gonna talk about nobody mama on no snaps, or you gonna get somebody gonna get busy.
But you won't make it serious. You say your mama's so fat, but you ain't say your mother died of breast cancer.
It ain't like I raped your mom. Yeah. You know, it ain't like I raped your grandma and I did this to your grandma. You know, one night I almost killed a guy. I went to judge a roast battle one night at New York Comedy Club. I shouldn't say kill, that was too strong, but I definitely wanted to hurt this guy. I went to do a roast battle, to judge roast battle, and I was going to see my grandmother who was on her deathbed in Maryland.
Okay.
And I had to get my head right in a space where I couldn't just be home thinking about that. And I had started off, they had told all the comics to be sensitive to me because I was going through something, and I had said beforehand, I said, I'm doing the best I can tonight. This is what I got going on, but let's have a good battle. Let's not focus on that.
Right.
And one of the comics in the middle of his comment says to me,
oh shit, I remember this.
Rosebud remembers.
Oh my God, I thought that was my grandmother coming back from the dead saying she remembered it. I was like, Grandma,
I remember this.
And he says something to the extent of like, how's your grandma? Or you're like, that's why your grandmother's dying or some shit. And I just remember, like, I think Nico had to hold me back. A bunch of people had to hold me back.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing I hate the most about roast is like, you don't have to be below the belt. I've said this, Rosebud always gets hits about her sister. And I'm like, at what point?
Oh, yeah. It got me so mad.
I remember Nico was trying to hold you back, and I was trying to hold Nico back from holding you back.
Right. There was a centipede.
I was like, let her go.
I try not to do that. I think the last roast I did against Jamar, because Jamar and I know each other and we were like
respect each other.
We went hard because we knew. But I think sometimes in the battles, people say shit that's so aggressive and so about death and all these other. Hi guys.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Bonnie makes clothes in the basement now. She has 3 sewing machines.
Ask Bonnie to make me a wedding dress.
Bonnie, come here. What is Bonnie making? Come here, Bonnie. We want to see.
What are you making?
What are you working on?
She's making a plaid hoodie. A plaid hoodie with
pockets.
With pockets.
Oh, okay.
Wait, she made that?
Cute.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm still making it.
Hold on.
It looks good.
Yeah, I didn't know you made what you were wearing.
Yeah, come sit down, Bonnie.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that looks totally symmetrical. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought you were making the.
Where's my jacket?
It looks good.
100 million things. It's insane.
I just can't believe that Rich Voss got you making his merch now.
That's what I thought she was holding up.
Oh, it's the lovebirds. Hello.
Hi. Yes, congrats.
Oh my God, they said hi at the same time. This is the newlywed game. We should play the newlywed. Sherrod, ask them some questions. Let's do a newlywed game.
Oh, look at the time, Yamaneika.
New couple versus been together for a while couple. Come on, let's ask.
We have to catch it on next week's episode.
We've been together 15 years. We're so far from newlyweds. We have separate bedrooms. Okay.
We've been together for 15 years in the last 3 months.
You catching up to him. George, you want to do some pluggy plugs? You want to plug some shit?
July 9th to 11th, I'll be at Good Nights Comedy Club in North Carolina. July.
Oh, good night.
How fun.
And also,
Voss.
Free. Go to Voss Roast on YouTube. It's free. And go watch Keith Baum on the Patrice Roast. Listen to it.
Yeah, that's always
great.
This was fun doing it with you guys.
Yeah.
Hi.
Carmen, you want to do a plug?
I have a new album called Vertically Obese that's out now. Please buy it on iTunes, and that's it. Catch me on at Carmen Comedian on everything.
Yes, catch me outside. Yummy.
Yes, I also have a comedy album if you want to listen to it. It's called Damsel in Distress. It was critically acclaimed last year. I don't know about this year. We were suffering. You can check me on everything at Yamaneika. I stream. I have a YouTube page. I have Rant and Rave with Yamaneika and Friends. I have my Healing Hour on Sundays. And I have Live with Chloe and Yamaneika on Fridays on Instagram.
And you got flowers on the wall like you're calling from a genie bottle.
Danny Cohen put those flowers up there. So.
Oh, Danny did that?
That's very Danny.
Yeah. My entire apartment. Yeah.
Did it freehand, that son of a bitch.
How many ties do you have to buy?
Only 11.
Me and Rosebud have a podcast called Find Your Beach, and
I just did it. It was great.
Yeah, that was so funny, Carmen. But that's every Monday, and then we do a Patreon episode. So check that out.
Find Your Beach.
I want to invite.
Yeah, I want to invite too. How many black people been on there? Damn it.
Yeah.
No, they did ask me, Rosebud. You did ask me, but I had something come up.
Don't bail her out. Don't do that. Let her answer.
Rosebud has her own podcast.
She did ask me.
How many sisters y'all had on there?
Yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
We would have loved to have had you.
I'm sorry, so I'm coming. I'm coming to come up and do
You
it.
guys have fun?
All of you are invited to the wedding, by the way. And if
Yeah.
anybody's
What?
watching this and they're wondering if they've gotten their invite, you're not invited.
Yeah.
You're not invited.
Yeah, but all of you guys are.
You guys are invited.
I didn't get an invite, so
Well, I haven't sent it out yet.
Oh.
I'll come
It's
early
coming
and
out
get
this
help with the
weekend.
We're letting
decorations.
you
Oh,
know.
I'm so excited.
I don't know why I'm plugging our wedding on this. Sorry.
I wanna be there for wedding time.
I love it. I can't wait to be there. Are we doing
It's
Zoom
so
or
fun.
doing it real in person?
Is it a Zoom wedding?
No,
it's in Brooklyn.
We're getting married at City Hall, and then it's a big dance party in Brooklyn.
Yes, BK, baby.
So fun.
Yeah.
Rosebud and Andy look like they should be standing in front of their house in St. Louis with weapons.
Brother and sister.
Hey, that's for later.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm glad to have been a great episode of Cellar Nightly. It was real fun, guys. Thanks for doing it tonight.
Thanks, Sherrod.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Oh, yeah. Check out Small Ball. Small Ball, my new sports comedy podcast with Embassy Row. Big shout out to Andy Cohen and Mike Davies. Small Ball is available on Apple Music and Spotify. We got a bunch of episodes. Got a lot of people coming on. And then Race Wars, too. You know, Race Wars is always popping off.
Oh, I'm doing that soon. Yes.
Yes, you're on. We just had Roger Stone on last week and George Wallace, too. My dad, George Wallace, comedian legend. So, yeah. And
Some happened to my invite.
Yes. You're on next week, right? Yeah, Manhattan Madam, too. Manhattan Madam was on last week. Boss, I need to get you back on.
I'll do it.
Good. Roger Stone on?
Yeah, Roger Stone did it last week. That's my boy. He just got that 14-day stay. He's supposed to go into prison today.
Wow.
That 14 days, so he out to the 14th of July. But he's trying to see if Trump going to pardon him, so he waiting for that phone call. Roger's a good friend, man. He's a smart dude, funny dude.
Best people.
I got a weird group.
Yeah, you do.
Andy,
Weird
check out that thing that we talked about.
Yeah, I will. I'll text him.
Yamaneika, it was good seeing you. Carmen, it was good seeing you.
Yes,
Bye. Good seeing you.